folks, I've got a new project for us to do. It is the Calico Company Mystery BOM by Corey Yoder Quilts by Corey Yoder. I've been just kind of watching her over the years, and I find that I love her fabrics. Like, I love her designs. I love her fabrics. And the Calico Company fabric line is just absolutely beautiful. It's perfect. She's actually doing a block of the month, which is free, which I think is awesome as well. So that means I get to share it all with you for free. And we can go through all of the cutting and everything like that. So I love when a designer is willing to do blocks of the month using their newest line for free. I love that. So I will make sure that I actually link that down below so you can follow along with me. You can use your scraps or, whatever you have on hand that you'd like to use. You don't have to use her fabric line to do this. So I've got block 1 and we're going to start with that, but I'm going to show you the individual fabrics. They're beautiful, folks. They're beautiful. So hold on to that thought. I'll see you in a little bit and we'll take a look at this beautiful fabric together. I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so we are ready to dive into this beautiful bundle. This is the Cali Co. Yeah, let's just dive in. And for her block of the month, she actually, and I've got it on the other camera, but you only need, the cuttings are from a fat 1/8 bundle. So I ended up with half quarter. So fat 8s are 9 by 22. Fat quarters are 18 by 22. So I'm going to have a little extra, which is fine with me. I love the fabric. So it's really cute. It's got the Moda's celebrating 50 years, which is kind of cool. And then, of course, it's got Corey Yoder. And then, of course, the beautiful fabric. So we're going to break into this and take a look. And I love even the binding strip is so cool because it's like a ruler. So I keep some of these because I'll sew them into like a bag or do fun things like that, or a hairpiece, or so I keep these. I'm just going to toss it over there. All right, so I'm going to move this out of the way, but and I will link this below. So I will link this below in the description so you can download it for free. She's not asking for any money for it. So okay, let's take a look at the fabrics real quick before we get cutting. Here's the first one. Beautiful. This is white on white. It's got dots. So cute. And then she's got cherries. And then peach. Flowers. It's cute. I like that one. I love the colors that she's chosen for this line. That one's beautiful. This one's got to be my favorite. I love the color of it. I looked at the first block. Here's some dots. It's pretty too. And it's interesting how she put this together, this block together. So stay with me and we'll actually do the cutting, and then we'll put together the first block. But the first block it's an interesting pattern to it. I'm excited to see that one come together. I could see using that in other designs. There's that one. And then she's got an orange, which is beautiful. Beautiful. Orange, orange. Told y'all in one of the other videos, I am in some type of orange mood. Like, orange is becoming my go-to. It's interesting. Never, like, orange was never my, it's not that I disliked orange, but it was never like my go-to. There's got some orange flowers on that one. Come into some yellows. Oops. Come into some yellows. And I will starch each and every single one of these. So I starch all my fabrics. It's a pretty yellow. Some more cherries on yellow. It's pretty. And then we've got some green cherries. The green she chose is beautiful too. I love it. It's almost like a lime green, almost. I love lime green. Lime green is a cool color. The screen is good too. I love that. It's beautiful. Some white background. Some like teal blue in it. Beautiful colors. That's a pretty color too. It's almost like a teal color. It's pretty. She's got just a pop of pink. And she's got blue. The blue is pretty. That's pretty. It's the first time I've seen that pattern. It's pretty. That's pretty with the pink. It's pretty. It's a pretty one too. I'm just going to say that all the way through. That one's pretty. That one's pretty. Pink, which I love me some pink. It's a pretty pink. It's pretty pink. And then she's actually added a brown, which is interesting. Brown and pink go so well together. I've used brown and pink in a couple other patterns that I've done. There you have it. Those are all of our colors. 18 by 22. Those are all of our colors. How many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 39, 40. 40. Standard 40. So I'm going to go ahead and starch all of them first. And then once okay, so I'm going to go ahead and starch each one of these and get them all prepared. And then we'll come back and we'll do some cutting, because I can actually show you the cutting because it's free. Like, she gives it to us free. She also has a diagram of how to lay it out. We may or may not follow that. And I don't think that I'm going to cut for all 12. Like, she tells us how much to cut for all 12 of the months. But I think I might just cut as we go. So this first one, it's going to be this section here and then some background. So I think I'm just going to do it month by month and cut it that way. That way I can share with you all each month's cutting. So as we go along. Okay. I'll be back. I'm excited. You got to stick with me on this block because this block is so unique. I just think that is just such a cool design. So I'll see you in a little bit. All right, folks. We are going to cut out some fabric for our first coriander block for the Calico and Company Mystery Block of the Month. This is block 1. There's what block 1 looks like. Okay. I've gone ahead and downloaded the cutting instructions. And I'm going to use the Cali Co fabric line, as you can see here. I will not be using the dots, but I am going to use all of the other of these. This is just such a fun line. So pretty. And I actually went through each one of these fabrics earlier, so feel free to look back at that if you want. But what I'm going to do, and I am going to use one of her white on whites. What's this one called? This one is coriander seeds, I think. But it's just got such a pretty, I don't know if you can see that. It's just got such a pretty, it's got like little flowers on it. It's just really pretty. Pretty white on white. Okay, so I'm going to set this one aside for a second because I'm going to pull out this one. And these are fat quarters. She uses fat eighths, but I could not find them to purchase, so I went with a fat quarter bundle because I knew that I would probably use this again by all means. So I'm okay with having lots of extra. I'm just going to fold this one up. Okay, I'm going to set that aside because we're not going to use that one. All right. So I think what I'm going to do first, if we look at the instructions, and I've read all the way through. So I think what I'm going to do is she's got a suggestion at the bottom that you may also find it helpful to cut a portion of the background fabrics as follows. And she does 6 strips of 3-inch wide width of fabric. And then she does 14 strips of 1.5-inch width of fabric. I think I'm actually going to do that because then what she suggests is each month you can subcut the individual background pieces you need from these strips. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. So let's start there, and then we'll get into some fun things of identifying what we want for our colors for the individual pieces. So let's cut our background first. I always like to do that, so I'm going to move all this fabric over and out of my way. That's a lot of fabric. So I'm going to get this so that it's where I want it to be. And I fold twice just to make it a little easier for me to cut. I just want to make sure that I don't have any bumbles up inside here. I go to fold it like that. Okay, so I start like this, and then I will take and line it up this way, and I overshoot like right now I've got it on 9 inches. Doesn't really matter because I just want to get a starting point. So I'm just going to put my ruler on there. And we'll see which cutting tool I want to use today. Which one's going to work for me today. I feel like my tools, I need to change all the blades out and all of them. But okay. So now I have that. I think I'm going to try the other one. All right, so now that I've got a good starting point, we're gonna do 6 strips of 3 inches. And of course, with the fabric is from selvage to selvage, which that's what we folded here. So we're gonna do we're gonna do 6 strips, 3 inches wide. So we're gonna go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I got fuzzies from my last project. So there's 1. Do it again. 1, 2, 3. I hope everyone is having a blessed day today. There's 2. 3. It is storming here today. We did get our generator in. It finally was set up yesterday. So I'm excited about that. We actually used it. The electricity went out and the generator kicked in, which is always a good thing. 3. We're just gonna keep going because we're gonna make 6 of these. And then we don't have to cut them later. 4. I'm gonna move this over because it'll just make it easier for me to cut. 1, 2, 3. Oops, as long as I don't move it. What I could do is use my big ruler and go from the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And do I have enough for 3? I don't. So I don't have enough for 3 in this section. So I'm going to take these. Get them out of our way. And I'm going to grab some more background fabric. This is the boxes that I use for my project. Ooh, sorry about that if that was loud and in your ear. All right, so we're going to do another one. I think what I'm going to do is, just so I can manage it a little bit better, I'm going to just do that so it's a little bit easier to manage. I'm going to set this aside for a second. I want to fold it. And I'm going to trim it. Okay, Can you all see what I'm doing still? I think so. Okay, so I'm gonna do, I had 5 and I need 6. 1, 2, 3. We're gonna do another one. Okay, so that takes care of that. And I've got these really cool big clips. I love them. I use them just for this purpose, just like that. So it takes care of that. And then we need 14 strips of 1 1/2. So we're gonna get those cut. One and a half. And it's interesting with me. Sometimes I cut from right to left, and sometimes I get my big ruler and I'll do 1 1/2 and I'll cut 1 1/2 and I'll go this way. Just depends on my day, I think. I don't know if either one is better than the other. There's 2. So yeah, it just depends on, there's so many ways you can cut fabric, but yeah. More. Some people, and I have the it's like this little rubber thing that goes from, clips to one end, goes on the back and clips to the other. So then you can just bounce it up and just do it this way. So what we could do, right, is I'm just gonna square off this other side, and I'm just gonna square off this other side here. Get us a good spot on this side. I don't know if y'all can hear that, but that was very loud thunder. I think I might need to change the blade on my cutter. It is being not what I want it to be. Okay, so what we could do, right, the other way, which I think most of you probably know, right, how to do this. So we know on a ruler, this is 1 inch, this is 2 inches, this is 3 inches, because this is a 3-inch ruler. So if I were to put it in the middle of that one, it doesn't look like it's a very straight line. I'm going to flip it around because that one just doesn't look like it's a very straight line to me. This one looks much better. But then you can just do that, and then you could cut on this side of it. And my Oh, man. Dang, look at that. Okay. Erg. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm going to put them in piles of 5, I think. So there's 5. Pull this. I think I can get, this is the one we were working on before we were pulling the bigger pieces out of. Five, is that 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 10 and we need 14, right? So I'm gonna grab a little bit more fabric. Oh my goodness. Oops. I'm going to trim it. Trim it off. And then we need 4 more of these. Okay, I'm going to turn around. I'll do it this way. Still doing 1.5. There's 1. Again, we need 4 of these. There's 2. Three. And 4. All right, so there's the 14 that she was talking about. So we have these. And that clip fits on there perfect. So there we have those. And is this? One, two, three. It is. So, all right. So we've done that. I just want to make sure that everything is doing okay. It is. Everything's doing okay. It is. All right. So I think we need some background squares too. So let's look at our first block. So we need 8 background squares. If I look at the background fabric cuttings that we need. So we can pull G and H from our other strips over there, which we just did. But let's go ahead and make some 8. We need 8 squares, 3x3s. We can use what we just cut here because it is 3 1/4, so we can cut what we need out of this. So I'm going to turn it this way, and this is a 3-inch square or ruler. So I'm going to, and I've got it, you know, remember I've got it, we folded it once with selvage, and now I'm going to, it's folded again. So this will give me 4. So I'm going to cut off that. I'll turn it around and then I know that it was about 1/4 inch bigger than what we need, but that's okay. We're just going to take that off. Okay, so now we have 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 3x3 squares. Let's do this again. Aside because I'm sure we can use that at another point in time. Just want to make sure those are all level. Just like that. Now we have 3x3. So now there's our 8. That was quick. So there's our 8, and those are going to be F's. Let's get our little alphabetties out here. Looks like we're going to need an A, and a B, and a C, and a D. There's an E. Do we have an F? And there's an F. There we go. So these are F. Okay. So now we have those. So let's go ahead and, seeing we've got these background fabrics out, let's go ahead and cut from the 1.5. We need 2 8.5s. Let's just grab one. So it needs to measure 2 8.5s. I could keep it folded. I could. Just trying to get it so that it folds back on itself again. I'll use my little ruler. This should be fairly easy to do. I put it on that line. I'm just going to trim off the selvage on one end. And then let's find 8.5. Is that what we need? We need 8.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.5. And we need 2 of them. So there we go. So this one can go back over here. I'm just going to clip this back on. And I know I'll use that. And this is G. I don't think I pulled a G or an H. Let's pull a G and an H. G and H. There's an H. There's a G. This is a G, even though it's a double G. It'll work. Okay, so these are G. So we have these. Okay, can y'all see those? I'll pull those back in. So we've done those. Now let's take, and we need 10.5 from the 1 inch. I wonder if I could get that out of this one. Let's see. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Look at that. Ten and a half is H. And this is the way I do a lot of my projects or kits that I do. Can you all see that? There you go. All right, so we have all of our background for this block. Now we need to identify, we need 8 squares. So if we look at, and what I want to do is make it so that none of the color is the same. So I'm going to find the ones that I like the most for my center, because I need 8. So it's B. So B is going to be 2.5 by 2.5. It says I need 8. Looks like I only need 4 though. So I'm going to find all my colors that I want. So I'm going to set this aside. And let's pull our fabric up here. I'm going to set these aside with my clips. Okay, I'm not going to use that. All right, so let's pull our fabric back over and take a look at what we want. Lots of fabric here. Okay, I'm going to take these because I'll end up losing them. I'm going to set these aside so I have them. All right, let's take a look and see what colors we want for our center. And for B, I am making 8 2.5 by 2.5. Oh, that's because they're on, yeah, so I'm going to start with B first. So I'm going to look at what I want for my colors. And if you noticed that these outer edges, these outer squares are also B. So that gives me 4 there and 4 here. So I want them all to be different colors. So I'll look at what I want first for my center. And I think I want, let's see. I like that one. I like that one. That one would be pretty. That one would be pretty too. Is that the same? No, it's a little bit different, isn't it? All right, so I'm just gonna start pulling fabric. So there's one. Look for the center. And maybe an orange, but I don't want the same pattern. So maybe the flowers or the dots, maybe the flowers. Yeah, so let's do maybe that one and that one. And then let's see. Do I want a yellow? Or I think I want a green. Let's do, that's the same pattern. That's a good green. This one is different too. Let's do this one. So there's three. And then I think I want a blue. Let's see what we had got for blues. That would be a pretty blue. Because I'm also doing so that it's not the same pattern. That would be a really bold, pretty blue. Let's do this one. Okay. So these are going to be my centers. So I'm going to take these, and I think this is probably the fun part of making any of these types of scrappy kind of quilts, right? Is that you get to pick and lay out the way you want. And you could just randomly pick fabrics, right? Like you wouldn't have to go through and, you know, make sure that there's different ones or anything like that. Like you could just put them all in somewhere and just pull from it. But I want to balance it a little bit for the way I do things. So, all right, so now I need 4 additional because of the outer blocks. So let's go back through it again, and we can maybe this one. So we'll do that one. And I actually think I'm going to do this one. There's 2. I need 2 more. And I didn't do yellow, so let's go grab a yellow. Let's grab the cherries. Why not? Right? Why not? Cherries. And then let's do we have a lighter blue? Let's take a look and see if we have like a lighter blue. This one's a lighter blue than what we had. Yeah, let's go ahead and do, is that the one I want? Just looking at pattern now that I've already pulled. I think so. Let's go ahead and do this one. All right, so there's B. So I'm going to take this fabric and set it aside for now. And then we're going to put these all together. because I know that B is going to be 2.5 inch squares. And I've got 5 pieces here. I should be able to cut them all together. Just want to make sure that I got the selvage. I want the selvage all on the same end. Okay. I'm going to do four at a time, just because my blade is acting up, so I don't know if it'll cause me grief or not. Trying to get through all this. It might be like, no. Nope, we're not gonna do it. Not today. And I'm gonna fold it. So now I'm even gonna go through more thickness. So I'm gonna cut off this selvage, and I could make it easier on myself and not go through so many, but okay. And we are going to cut 2.5, 2.5, two and a half. Okay, set this aside for a moment. And pull these open like this. Half. There's 4 of the ones that I want. I'm going to keep this. I know that we'll potentially use this later on, so I'm going to keep that for sure, for sure. And then I'm going to do, this is going to be B. I'm just going to grab my Alpha Bitty, and I'm going to put this on this first batch, set it aside, because we're going to do the same thing to these others. Bringing you all into my madness. I just find it easier just to do it this way. And when I have a really good blade on, which when I switch my blade over, it will help. But yeah, then I'll do a lot more. I'll cut a lot more at the same time. But I have to be careful because fabric will shift when you're cutting it. So you don't want it to shift and then one more. Okay. And then I'm going to fold it. Let's fold it the other way. gonna cut off that selvage. Copy. Okay. And then we want 2.5. Set that aside. And I'm going to open this up. What's the matter, puppy? What's the matter, Lex? Okay, so I'm going to set this aside. This is our extra, and I know we will need that. And then there's our other 4. There you have it. So I'm going to add that to my other colors, and I have B's done. B is done. So let's look at, we need A, and A is going to be, so A is going to be part of our half square triangles, because we've already done F, which is our white. So A is going to be, we need 8 of them. So I want 8, try to do 8 different ones on that one too. So let's take a look and see what we've got going on. Let's pull our fabric back out here. And these are going to be part of our half square triangles, so there's going to be a light color on it. So I'm not sure I'm going to use these. Maybe the dots. Let's see, I don't think I went any further here. Let's do some of these back here. Like let's see what I got. I got a pink back here. So let's do a pink. Let's do this pink. There's 1. I need how many? I need 8. Okay. And let's do, what's pink? Let's do, I love pink and browns together. I just think pinks and browns are so awesome together. There's 2. There's 2. Let's do these blue cherries. I think that would be pretty. There's 3. I have blue. Let's do this one. There's 3. Let's do polka dots. 3, 4. Let's do this one. 5. I don't want to do those. So let's Let's do another orange on that side. I don't know if I want to do another orange on that side. 5. What about let's do the green cherries. Let's do green cherries. There's 6. Now I need 2 more. So let's do this one. Let's do this one. There's 7. And then we'll do another brown. Do we want to do another brown? Yeah, let's go ahead and do another brown. 8. Okay, set this aside. Make sure everything is still recording. Oops. I'm gonna switch out my camera and I'll be right back. All right, we're back. I had to switch out my battery in my camera. So, all right, let's finish up these squares. Get them cut here. These are going to be half square triangles that we're going to create. Just trying to get my fabric on here. Such cute fabric. It is such cute fabric. Trying to make it as scrappy as I can, using the same line, fabric line. Again, I think this would look really, I could have chosen just to go very scrappy and just truly use my scraps. That would have looked just as cute. I like to organize my scraps by designer because I find that they use their own kind of tone of the colors. And if I really want to go scrappy, I can always just pull, like I've got a bunch of Lori Holtz, doesn't matter what fabric line it is, but I can pull from her lines and it's always gonna go together. Like it always looks great. So, and then you could even go higher than that and say, you know, any Riley Blake or Moda, like you could put your fabrics together even like that if you wanted to. You know, this is pretty thick, so I'm going to cut it this way. Sorry, give me just a moment. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to put my ruler all the way across like this. I'm going to move these out of my way. And I think I'm going to grab my big ruler. And, oh, I forgot one, didn't I? I gotta put that one on there. Get this one on here. It's pretty pink. pretty pink. It's a pretty pink. All right, I'm going to cut this off here. I'm going to stand up to do it. Hopefully I don't get in y'all's way. Okay, just like that. And then how many do we want? We want it to be three by 3. 1, 2, 3. And I've already looked, so you know, even though we potentially just need this section, I know that there's other ones coming because I'm just cutting for this block, but on the back she's got all the cutting for all of it, so I know that I'll be able to use the remaining section of this. I'm not wasting all of that other, even though it might appear that I am. I'm not. I am not wasting it. Okay. I'm gonna fold this up. Set it aside. Hang my ruler back up. All right, so now let's make our 3 by 3. Cut these ends off. Cut those ends off. Can y'all see that? Do I need to pull y'all just a little bit more out? There you go. Now I think you can see a little bit better. These are 3 by 3s, 3 by 3 squares that we're doing. So 1, 2, 3. Ah, boy, I need to get my rotor cutter. I gotta go put another blade in there. Not too awful bad, but okay, I'm gonna keep this, of course. Gonna go over there, and now we have 8 of those. Oh, that one's got the selvage on it. I'm actually not gonna worry about that. I am not going to worry about those bits on those ends. Just like that. There you go. All right, so these trying to get them all back together so I can pin them or I can clip them. There you go. Oops, 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 they're falling apart. Oops. All right, so these are A. I'm gonna grab my alphabeti. My A. Okay, where did my A go? Don't know where my A went. Okay, we're just gonna grab another A. So here's A. I'm going to grab a clip. Okay, so it takes care of A. So now we've got A and B. We got H and G and F. Okay, so now we need C, D, and E. Set these aside. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put them on a board There's A, B, there's F, there's G. My boards need to be cleaned, I can see. So yeah, so I'm going to add it to my board and then I'm going to set it up there. All right, so let's do C. So now these are the triangles. So C is the triangles on the side, and they'll be 2 and 2. So I want them to be different than what I've pulled as well. So, and I've kept what I've pulled because I've put them like this, so I'm not pulling the same ones over and over and over again. So let's grab our fabric and let's dive into it. Let's dive into our fabric here. Let's see what we've got. So I think that we'll do this one will be 1. How many do we need? We need 4. So I think I'm going to do this one. And I think I'm going to do this one. And let's do trying to decide what I want to do. Because if I go lighter, let's do this one. It's 4. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to do not that one. I'm going to do the cherries. And then I'm going to do, let's see. So many choices. Maybe let's see. Kind of leaning towards this one. We're just gonna go for it. Okay, let's cut those. Let's cut these. All right, turn that board. Let's see. Okay, let's cut off our end over here. And again, what we're cutting it for is these on the strips on the very top. Get my big board out, or my big ruler out. Okay. And then what size do we need? What size do we need? 1.5. So we're gonna do 1.5. Okay, I'm gonna set this aside. And we need 2 of each, so I may need to cut another one. I suspect that I will have to. Okay, so the first one that I'm going to cut for is 10.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.5. So I'm gonna have to cut another one of those. Okay, so now we have this, which then has all of our other colored strips. Okay. And we're going to, this one's going to be G. What happened to my, actually? Give me a minute. I need to get, there's another H. Ugh. Of course, that didn't have a G in it. Neither did that. Okay, y'all. Just need a G. Come on now. This video can't be that long. Just need a G. It's like one of those. Oh, no, come on now. Okay. There it is. Right on the bottom. There's another one. They were on the bottom. I wouldn't have gotten to them, I don't think. Doing it the way I was doing it. Silly. Oh, silly, 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 silly. Let's see. So we are cutting for C. Just cut C. And so we've cut C's. So I think I did it wrong. Okay, so I only need 2 of these. So I'm going to take these 2. Those are the ones I'm going to use for this block. I'm going to set this one aside. And for this block, I'm going to use these 2 for C. And then so this one goes on my board, which, did I just drop my board? Nope, my board's right here. All right, so we're going to put that on our board. Just like that. Put that on our board. And then I do need to cut this again. Set that aside. Need to cut this again. Need to cut this again. But I only need 2, and I know that I'm not going to take that one and this one, so I know I'm not going to take these, so I'm going to take these off here. So I'm going to take this one, and I am going to get my ruler again. If I can get it off there, come on. All right, so sorry about that. I don't know if we missed something on that one or not, but we are cutting the other, we are cutting C, so we're cutting this one and this one. So we did that. That's going to be this one and that one. So now we're cutting for D, which still 1.5 inch strip. 1.5 inch strip. Okay. We're going to put my ruler up, and we'll fold this up. And we will cut these to, I want to trim the ends just so I have a good starting point. And these are going to be 12.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.5. Okay, so now we have that strip, and there's 2 of them. And this one is going to be D. So put that on our board. Put that on our board. And the scrap I'm going to keep just in case. I think there's some other things coming up. All right, so we have A, B, C, D. We have F, we have G, and we have H. So now we need to do E. E is 4.5. We need 4, 4.5. And so I think E, where does E come in? E comes, oh, E is at the corners, which I just think is such a cool design. We're gonna put those on the corners. So cool. And so I know that for C and D, I have the lighter fabric. So I'm gonna go probably pretty dark when we pick out those. So let's pick out some more fabric. It's the fun part, right? Picking out fabric. Let's take a look at what we've got. I'm gonna set my board aside. Let's take a look at what we've got. We've got a mess. I've moved things around a little bit, haven't I? Moved some things around a little bit here. All right, let's take a look. This would be a nice bright color to have on the outer edge, wouldn't it? Let's see what else we've got. And I know that let's see if there's a color that, let's look at our board again, just to see, you know, have we overused a certain color? Put oranges in there. Good variety in here as well. Let's do, I really think I'm going to do, let's do, what do I want to do? What do I want to do? I really like this green. So I think that's going to maybe be one, but we will see. I think a dark blue would be really good too, but which dark blue do I want? Do I want that flower dark blue, which is really pretty? That one. Let's do this one. It's one of our 4. And should we do a pink? I think I've used a lot of pink. Let's go ahead and do this one. Why not, right? And then maybe, is there a yellow? There's a yellow and a green. So we could do like this green. And then a yellow. And then this yellow. I think that's gonna be it. Right there. I'm gonna have to put all this fabric back together. So it's not such a hot mess. All right, so we want, what are we cutting for? We're cutting for E, which is 4.5. So put all these together as I do with the others. I really like this color. It's not really pink, but it's not really red. I don't know. This blue is really pretty too. Okay. All right, we're gonna trim. And I'm going to grab my other ruler again, if I can get it off. Okay. And we're going to trim it up. I'm going to trim it up. Oops, get my hair in there. Hopefully I didn't do that. So these are 4.5 inch, yep. So 1, 2, 3, 4.5. Okay, set this aside. I'm gonna trim off that end. And 1, 2, 3, 4.5. I'm going to set this aside. So I'm pretty sure we're gonna need it later. All right, so now we have our 4 that will go on the outer edges. So if we get our design board back out, and these are what, E? So if we get our design board back out, let's make sure we've got all our cut pieces for this one. We've got A, we've got B, we've got C and D. Here's E. There's E. Here's F, G, and H. There's our cut-in for this one. All right, so our next step will be to take this over to the sewing machine and we'll start to put this together. We're actually going to make our half square triangles first. That's going to be the first one because these right here are half square triangles. So we're going to make 2, 4, 6, 8. Make 16. I guess we're going to make, it's going to make 16, but 8 of them will be used later, she says, in another block. So, all right, folks. I will see you in the next video, and we'll scoot over to the sewing machine, and we'll get this block sewn up, and we'll take a look at how it's gonna, what it's gonna look like. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.